As you can see here on these first two panels, the top left, top right, we have some high pressure that is built in. Interestingly enough, the last two mornings, we've had some pretty cool temperatures, including a record low 2 nights ago at RDU, which was really fascinating. I think it got down to, what was it, 48, I think. So that was a record low, which is kind of rare. So that was really interesting. So anyways, that high pressure will build offshore today into tomorrow and into the weekend. And with that, we're going to have southerly flow and temperatures rising pretty quickly up into the mid 90s even by tomorrow, and continuing into this weekend and maybe into early next week as well. Well, I guess mostly into this weekend. But anyways, we'll talk about that in a little bit here. So yeah, however, overall, the dew points should mix out pretty nicely in the afternoon. So it'll be kind of a drier heat and whatnot. Unfortunately, from a rainfall perspective, you can see later on here, we'll have high pressure build into our northeast here, and we'll have a front come in probably Sunday night into Monday morning and likely clear south of us here. With that, though, it looks like the rain chances are fairly limited in the guidance, so I would not expect a lot of rain with that. Particularly that kind of regime doesn't usually produce a lot. But what we'll probably have is Sunday afternoon, we'll have some convection develop up in Virginia, and some of the outflow will come and maybe generate some convection into our northern areas and spread south with time. And the front will actually come through overnight. And then beyond that, there is some uncertainty in the extended, but some guidance does show that front kind of wavering around our area, and perhaps some kind of diurnal isolated thunderstorms in the afternoon through middle of next week. Unfortunately, some of the other guidance shows that high building in a little bit, some drier air further down into our area, and possibly keeping us dry through like the 18th or 19th of June, which would be not good for the drought. So we'll have to watch that. But again, that even with ahead of that front, Sunday night into Monday, I would not expect much rain. And even if there is some diurnal convection into next week, it'll be pretty isolated and little pockets of some rainfall amounts. So not good for the drought situation, which we'll discuss here shortly. So again, just want to highlight the heat here. That's probably the main concerning thing the next several days. While the dew points will mix out and our traditional heat index values will remain below criteria for any heat advisories or anything like that, we do like to highlight and show the experimental heat risk here. And you're probably somewhat familiar with this at some point, at this point, but basically this is a little different than the classic heat index in the sense that it actually compares it to CLIMO, and it kind of highlights how unusually warm this is for this time of year and the potential health impacts associated with that. So as far as tomorrow, looks like a large, half of our area here is getting up into that moderate level where, most individuals that are sensitive to heat could have some issues. They need to, focus on adequate cooling and hydration, those kind of things. And then that continues on Saturday. So again, when you have these kind of repeated days and it's unusually hot, we can see some hospitalization numbers increase and whatnot. So we always encourage people that are sensitive, especially, to try to remain cool as much as possible and hydrate and practice heat safety. Along with that, just wanted to share this, some infographics here about pediatric vehicular heat stroke. This is my least favorite stat every year. It's just utterly terrible. It sucks to see this, but actually so far this year, unfortunately, we've had 5 child fatalities in the U.S. due to hot car incidents in this year. So I just want to pass along this to try to have you all, encourage you all to kind of message this as well. I have a link here to the NHTSA's webpage, which discusses all of this. And their slogan is always stop, look, and lock. So we definitely like to message this every year because it's just utterly terrible. Anyways, and another thing I want to pass on is also don't forget your pets either. That's actually apparently more common. People leave their pets, unfortunately, and those cars get really hot really quickly. So just want to pass this slide along, and hope you all can message this out as well. So moving on to the precipitation. Again, you can see today we're dry, Friday we're dry, Saturday we're dry. And then Sunday into Monday time frame here, you can see that we do have possibly some very light QPF associated with and ahead of and with that front coming through. So not much in the 5-day total, unfortunately. And that brings me to the latest drought update, which came in this morning. And you can see that here on the map. The only changes really here compared to last week's drought is there was some Memorial Day rain, lingering moisture and Memorial Day rainfall here. Brought some relief up in the mountain areas here in the Southern Apps. But elsewhere, we pretty much stayed similar. And we'll have to see how much rain we get here in the next week or so. But this could further worsen, and maybe even some areas might have to go into D4 here, possibly even in the triangle area. So I don't make that decision, but that's kind of some of the rhetoric we're hearing here, possibly for next week. So unfortunately, it does not look good from a drought perspective. Kind of shifting gears here and looking at the 8 to 14-day temperature precipitation outlooks here. We always show from the Climate Prediction Center. Looking at the temperature plot on the left here. This is for the period June 11th to June 17th. Doesn't look like much of a signal, perhaps maybe slightly favoring above normal temperatures to near normal, kind of in that time, in that range. And then looking at the precipitation, kind of similar. Not much of a crazy signal either way, but maybe slightly favoring above climatology for rainfall. So we'll see how that pans out here. But again, like I said, some of those models are showing not a lot of rain. It's pretty dry. So we'll see. We like to show this graphical hazard weather outlook. This is a experimental product as well. You can see here really just highlighting some of the heat concerns. And then it shows lightning here, but again, Monday through Wednesday next week, we might not actually see any precipitation, but we'll have to see how that goes. But nothing too crazy in the threat matrix here. All right, just a quick summary, and then I can take some questions if you have any. Again, we'll have dry weather here, at least through Saturday and most of the Sunday, but we'll have increasing temperatures in the mid-90s by tomorrow, and increasing in some humidity up towards Sunday. And then a low-end rain chance ahead of the cold front Sunday evening into Monday, and then again beyond next week, maybe some diurnal isolated convection, but it could be also pretty dry. So we'll see how that pans out. And then hazardous impacts, again, when you get these repeated days of temperatures in the mid-90s, that's anomalous for this time of year. Those are sensitive to populations. The heat should definitely practice heat safety and whatnot. So anyways, that's all I got for you, and I'd be happy to answer any questions you have.